Hey guys, today I'm reacting to myself. This is the top 50 NES games of all time list that I made back in 2017. There were some very good picks, but due to a little bit of lack of experience, there were some doozies as well. Let's go revisit the magic and discuss. You know what? Goonies is okay. Maybe it can just scrape in the top 50, but I already feel a little bit bad about this pick. I honestly just love to rent this and play this to listen to the music. I wasn't actually really playing the game apart from mindless basic platforming, because there are point and click elements to this game and puzzles which I didn't know how to do. I just like listening to the theme song. I don't know if that's enough to put this game in the top 50 to be honest, but here we are. Robo Warrior. Oh, gosh. So this is kind of like Bomberman on steroids. It's a Jalico game. You play a robot that comes to this planet, and you have to bomb through these courses, fight bosses, find the exit, and all these hidden levels and things like that. It's a really cool, action-y Bomberman experience. A little bit rough around the edges. Is it a top 50 game? Probably not, honestly, but I love Robo Warrior. I love Robo Warrior. Already we've got a couple doozies on here. Nah, this is alright. Robo Warrior, it's close. Definitely top 100 Robo Warrior. Cobra Triangle. I'm being like so totally biased. Again, I love Cobra Triangle. A lot of creative levels, some races, some stunts, some survival levels so you have to save kids in the local swimming pool, boss fights, lots of different things that you could do. But notoriously difficult, also a niche genre, an acquired taste for some. I think Cobra Triangle's very good. Again, probably a top 100 game. Probably put this a little bit high, just being honest. I love Cobra Triangle though. A cheap game to put in your collection too. They're floating around everywhere still. Skate or Die. Again, I have such a big nostalgic bias for Skate or Die because I remember the first time I played this, renting it out at my grandmother's house. It was such a good time. We were going through the skateboarding craze. My uncle just got me my first skateboard. We were watching Police Academy 4 with Tony Hawk and everything. Search of Animal Chin. It was just skating. And so I had a bias for this because I had a lot of good memories. Also playing Joust in the swimming pool, skateboarding as well. It's okay. It's fun. This game is not exceptional though. And if we're talking sporty games, I mean, Double Dribble, Tecmo Bowl, Tecmo Super Bowl, these are games that I probably should have put on this list that I didn't. Probably a bad pick for me here. My bad. Joust was cool, but Gunsmoke. You could argue this is a top 50 game or a top 100 game, but I think it's a wonderful vertical shooter, to be honest. Shooting cowboys is a blast. There's a lot of creative boxes with original patterns. Finding the wanted posters or either buying them. I mean, there's different ways you can finish a level, which is pretty neat as well. Not too long. Great for casual plays. Some people argue Gunsmoke doesn't deserve to be on the list. If it's not in the top 50, it's certainly very close. I think this is an inoffensive pick. Honestly. Super Spike Volleyball. I'm not offended by this pick. I think I picked this game pretty well. Super Spike Volleyball has taken such a niche sport and made it one of the funnest games on NES. One of the funnest sports games on NES. Okay, you could argue Tecmo Bowl's better, fair enough. Maybe Blades of Steel. But this is very close to being that echelon. This is a wonderful game with a mixture of different characters and locations. You've got the American circuit and then also the world circuit for a really, truly big challenge. This is a great game, man. The music's fantastic. Music slaps. Well, what a great game. Love the Super Spikes. There you go. Now we got Star Wars. Yeah, you know what? I think the only thing holding Star Wars back on the NES is the collision detection, the knockbacks, and the notorious difficulty. But I think this captures the atmosphere of the movie really well. The different locations in order, the music. Sure, Tatooine is a little bit of a slog because there's many different caverns and stuff and it drags out a bit. But the rest of the game follows the movie perfectly. Despite some really unfair challenge in the game sometimes, I think this is a wonderful Star Wars experience. Probably more a top 100 than a top 50 game, but not too much of an offensive pick, I don't think. Excite Bike. Yeah, this is a fair pick. There's no arguments here. Excite Bike's a great black box game. Very, casual pick up and play. Nothing of massive substance, but a good time. And again, Rad Race is a wonderful beat-the-clock racing game that rivals Outrun on the fun factor. Obviously, getting hit by those cars, getting in the way and flipping you and all that's a little bit frustrating, but the pros way outweigh the cons. This is a wonderful racing game, a great experience, good memory. My first NES game. Wizards and Warriors. Oh man, I'm pausing a lot. I wasn't expecting to pause so much, but I'm just recollecting all my picks here, because these are my personal picks from like all these years ago. 8.5 years ago. Wizards and Warriors is great. I mean, I hate the music when you're about to die. That's probably the only thing I hate. Just loops, and it's really annoying, and you will die a lot in this game. With that being said, a lot of challenging levels. Some of them a little bit maze-like, but it's rewarding to figure out where to go. Creative bosses, wonderful medieval theme. Rescuing bitches is always a good time, forgive my language. Yeah, it's a great fantasy epic, great fantasy medieval epic. I love Wizards and Warriors. RC Pro-Am. Yeah, look, this is a great isometric racing game. I think putting this in the top 50, maybe pushing it unless it was 50, maybe a little bit high up. Balloon Fight. Again, I mean, it's pretty inoffensive to put Balloon Fight in the top 50, I suppose. Because a lot of people like Joust, but this is an unpopular opinion, but I feel like Balloon Fight took that arcade Joust gameplay and made it more fun. I know people are going to hate me for saying that, again, because nostalgia is a hell of a drug, right? With that being said, I do think 39's a little bit high up. Maybe just break it in the 50 or between 50 and 60, but Balloon Fight's a good time. Don't sleep on some of these NES black box games, they're a good time. Metal Gear, you know what? The original espionage game, I haven't played and finished this in a long time, but I appreciate how ahead of the curve Metal Gear was. When did this come out? 1987, 88? It mixes action, stealth, and a pretty decent story for its time, where Metal Gear all began. It's a really good experience. It's not for everyone. It certainly scratches a niche for people who are willing to put up with a lot of frustration. But no, I think this is a good game. I think this is a fair pick. What, 38? And Ghosts and Goblins. Oh, the game that everyone loves to hate. Despite the fact that I can't even freaking beat this game, it's a wonderful fantasy epic, trying to rescue your woman, damsel in distress, from some demon-looking devil, some bish. The false ending, which was kind of like a Mirage, a mirror, which was a nice little plot twist as well. A lot of creative enemies, bosses. Despite its shortcoming, this game was always epic, whether you're playing it in the arcade or NES. Dude, but again, I might be biased because of nostalgia, right? Oh, I mean, what do you guys think? Would you put Ghosts and Goblins in the top 50? Let me know in the comments. I think this is an inoffensive pick, but also a stretch at the same time. I'm torn. Now we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, I like Ninja Turtles more now than I did back then, because I used to really get frustrated at this game, but once you learn how to play it and no longer get intimidated by things like the underwater level and the maze world, it's such a wonderful, rewarding experience. Great bosses, great music. Oh my gosh, the music in this slaps. And it's a wonderful experience over an hour if you can get past its frustrations. I think Ninja Turtles is a pretty good but challenging game. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great NES games, so it scratches your head and makes you think. Bucky O'Hare, not a game that I massively enjoy myself, but this is like an action platforming game that people kind of go to sleep on a little bit. And it's a good experience if you can handle a game to Konami difficulty. Battletoads, this is one of the most overrated games of all time. Overrated doesn't necessarily mean it's not good or it's terrible, but you slap a decent mascot on a cover, a box cover of an NES game, and kids are instantly going to buy into it, right? With that being said, this game suffers from a bit of an identity crisis, doesn't know if it wants to be a beat-em-up, an action platformer, a racing game, or anything in between. Despite that, there are moments that Battletoads shine. Would I put it at 34 now? No, probably maybe just scraping in the top 50. Definitely top 100, because there are things going for this. But I don't really like Battletoads that much, myself personally, anymore. And Now we got Kid Icarus. Kid Icarus is wonderful. I mean, it's definitely a top 50 game. Whereabouts in the top 50, I'll let you be the judge, but it's a great Greek epic. Very, very challenging. Adventures of Lolo. I put my bias aside and included a puzzle game. Even though I absolutely stunk at this game, I borrowed it in my teenage years. And it's really, really creative how you have to like use your brain and figure out puzzles and solve different things in order to pass different levels in this game. I articulated that terribly, but this is a very creative puzzle game. And I think people sleep on the Adventure of Lolo series a little bit because, you know, people are into the more action-y things, I suppose, these days. But this is a really, really, really good game. And after playing 1, 2, and 3, I did prefer the second one myself personally. How about you guys in the chat? Here we go. Now we got Maniac Mansion. You know, this Maniac Mansion's a top 50 game, sure. I know point-and-click games are not everyone's cup of tea, but the storytelling in this was great, the music, the fact that you could beat the game in so many different ways depending on what kid you chose gave this instant replayability. And yeah, what a wonderful game. Spawned another game. What was it? The Tentacle game, the sequel afterwards? Don't go to sleep point-and-click adventures, man. Like, probably a bit slow-paced by today's standards, but judging in the past, great. Kung Fu at number 30. I think this is an inoffensive pick. This is one of the best black box games you could play. Addictive, great bosses, short time, not a long time. Now we've got Batman. I'm trying to think on behalf of the gaming community on this one because I don't really like Batman that much, to be honest, and I absolutely suck at this. But it's a very highly requested game. This is a Sunsoft game that people remember very fondly. Most people I know either owned it or rented it. I personally don't think it should be this high up, but I'm trying to put my biases aside and be as objective as I can. Do I think Batman's a top 50 game? Yeah, probably only just, though. Probably only just. Now we got Rygar. Again, putting my bias aside, this is a game I definitely need to learn how to play properly. But there's a lot going for this. Puzzles, questing, different types of gameplay styles like top-down, side-scrolling. It's a great adventure. Now we've got Gradius. Gradius is a great shooter, man. Between this and Life Force, I prefer this one myself personally. It's just such a good time. And not much else to say if you like bullet hell games. Fact Xanadu. Oh my gosh. Again, I do think this is a top 50 game. Probably a little bit high up. For 26, damn. Again, I put my childhood bias on this one because I bought this as an ex-rental when I was about 12, 13. And locked myself in my bedroom for a whole weekend and beat this in one sitting between clever grinding and item collection and things like that. This game is sweet. Like, it's such a wonderful quest. It's deceptively linear. Like, there are areas that you'll backtrack in, but it is a quest. You're literally going from one point to another, and on the way you'll do a dungeon, so to speak. It's a elven army trying to put a stop to the goblin army and restore the life tree or something. It's a really good game. I mean, wonderful bosses, a great experience. Some of the level design will frustrate you as well as the unfair challenge and knockbacks. Oh, and you don't have much of an invincibility window either. This game is going to be so rewarding if you can persevere through frustration. That's what I will say. And I love the RPG system too. It's like an action RPG. You can level up and everything, which is neat. Gives you more magic, more health. Yeah, it's a good game. It's a good time. See, look how the character changes depending on the gear too. That's a neat touch for an NES game. Dr. Mario is a wonderful puzzle game, even though I'm not wonderful at it. Highly addictive, great multiplayer game to pull out with friends, definitely. Now we got Super C. Again, I'm putting my bias aside. Super C is a really good game. I finally played through this for the first time pretty recently, actually. 150 save states later, probably. But compared to Contra, it's a little bit more frustrating, a lot more challenging. I could even say creative levels. You've also got the top-down levels as well as the side-scrolling levels. So it adds a level of hybrid, I guess you could say, into it. Super C's a good time, man. I would recommend beating Contra first, and then if you want to step up the challenge, jump on board and play its sequel as well. Now we got Double Dragon on, and look, you know what, I know what you're thinking, but you couldn't play this multiplayer. It was just like, there was a two-player mode, where you could fight each other in arena, or you could do the base story in 2-player mode, but you would take turns between player. No simultaneous multiplayer kind of did hurt this game a little bit, but I do think it's a wonderful, challenging game of Double Dragon, and I liked how the NES versions of this franchise were kind of their own thing and very good. Double Dragon 1 was pretty decent. Double Dragon 2 is God tier, and Double Dragon 3, well, honestly, the best version of Double Dragon 3 was on NES. So, yeah, it's a great game. Maybe a little high up, but I'd put this in the top 50. It's freaking Double Dragon, man. Now we got Adventure Island 2 Pro. I mean, this top 50, definitely top 50. The fact that it's taken the Wonder Boy formula, but you can now collect beasts and monsters to traverse levels, catchy soundtracks that are just uplifting, make you feel happy. The game has really good difficulty progression, which eases you into it, but then all of a sudden slaps you in the face like a wet fish. It's a wonderful game. Fantastic. One of my favorites of the youth. Definitely. I think it's a 22 game. I think this one is accurate. Mega Man 1. Probably a little bit of bias here for me, to be honest, because I never really played much of Mega Man 4, 5, or 6 at the time. And number 1 was just, I grew up with number 1, man. And so I persevered through this. It was a wonderful childhood memory. But let's be honest, Mega Man 1 doesn't hold a candle to 2 or 3, right? I would argue number 4 also gives it a run for its money. I mean, you could just put number 5 or 6 in the bin. I don't really like those ones that much. But yeah, great childhood memory. Look, maybe scraping into the top 50, probably a little bit high up for Mega Man 1. But great memories for me. Now we got DuckTales. I think 20 is a fair pick for DuckTales. One of the better Disney games on the list. Although I have to say, I don't think I added Chip and Dale, which was a bit of a missed opportunity. Chip and Dale should have been on the list as well. We got Ninja Gaiden 2. Again, putting my bias aside because I suck at this. I love how it innovated further from Ninja Gaiden 1 and added creative things to levels. Like I said, there was these like blackout levels, and you've got these levels that you have to traverse against the wind. I would argue the bosses are a bit more creative in this game as well. I would probably put this ahead of Ninja Gaiden 1. But Duck Hunt, number 18 for Duck Hunt. I mean, this was the ultimate party Zapper game, right? I prefer Hogan's Alley, but Duck Hunt was the ultimate Zapper party game, right? So maybe a little high up. Turtles, the arcade game, maybe a little high up as well. But this is a fantastic port of an arcade game. Like, it's so good. I actually prefer to play this version over the arcade original. I don't think it's a broken mess. The collision detection's more fair. I also think the game itself is challenging but fair. I've been streaming this one a lot lately and having a pretty good time with it. Yeah, it's a top 50 game for sure. River City Ransom, River City Ransom's a top 50 game. I don't know if I would have put this one a little bit lower, but mixing RPG elements with interactive town shops and beat 'em up, I mean, take my money, right? Super Mario Bros. 2, I was putting my biases aside for this one. I definitely think Mario 2 is a top 50 game, even a top 30 game. I can't stand it. I first played this on a rental back in 1990, right? And now it's like 35 years later, and I haven't improved and got any better at the game. It just frustrates me to no end. I can't stand it. But I have to go and be honest with the gaming community. You guys all seem to like it, and even though it's a reskin with Doki Doki Panic, it's a special game. And so I'm just going to put my dislike of it aside and be like, yeah, you know what? We're pretty close with this one. Let's see what we got. Ninja Gaiden 1. Look, I mean, it's a cross between this or number 2. Put number 3 in the bin. There's a lot of things wrong with number 3. But, I think basically for its simplicity and less is more, Ninja Gaiden 1 was pretty special. Mega Man 3, no arguments here. What a great game of Mega Man. Thoroughly more challenging compared to number 2, which I don't think anyone's complaining about. You want to have a little extra in a sequel. Castlevania 3 Dragon's Curse. I think this is a good pick too, to be honest. I don't know if I put Simon's Quest on this list. It shouldn't be higher in this game, I don't think, even though I love Simon's Quest. But this took the Castlevania 1 formula and basically made it 4 times as hard. I don't think they needed to do that personally, but the bosses are great, the levels are incredibly challenging, and you get to use multiple characters with different abilities, which adds the strategy and extra gameplay element to the game. Yeah, great game. I think this is very close to being a top 10 game. I enjoy streaming it. Double Dragon 2 The Revenge, I think this is a fair position. It's almost a top 10 game. And for me, when it comes to beat 'em ups, the standard on NES, even if it does mix in the annoying platforming level. Now, Castlevania, geez, I could stop this video and talk about how much this game means to me, but I don't want to keep you here all day. All I'll say is it's one of the earliest NES games I played in my childhood. Still love it today, whether it was me playing it on stream now or waking up early before school at 6 a.m. on a small black and white TV to practice and finally master it. Such a wonderful childhood experience for me, and one that hits the nostalgia harder than most games on this list. This is very special. Freaking brutal though. I still hate the knockback even all these years later. Mario 1, I mean, just as important to me as what Castlevania is. Introduced me to NES when I played this at a family member's house for the first time. And it's where I left my Vectrex and Apple Macintosh and went on to a bright, whole new, wonderful universe. And that's all I've got to say about Mario. First game I ever beat on NES as well. Beat this first game I beat on NES, actually, yes. Metroid. Oh, dude. Yeah, 8, Metroid. Yeah, top 10. I think so. You guys might not think so. I think so. I first played this when I was about 7 years old. Didn't beat it till I was about 12. Took me 5 years. And half the time I remember staying up late at night in the school holidays playing this when I'm 7 or 8. Like 12 at night when I should be in bed. Not knowing where the hell I was going, but I didn't care. I loved the atmosphere of the music and the wonder of exploration. And that's what this game had. Like the wonder of exploration. Like by today's standards, it's pretty basic. But back in 1988, 89 when I was playing it, just discovering new secrets and things and rooms that I hadn't visited. It was a part of the journey, right? It was all about the journey for me. Metroid's very special. I love one of my favorite games to stream still. It's so good. Zelda 2. This is like aged like a fine wine to me. The more years pass, the more I love this game. I grew up preferring the first Zelda game. Finally beat this game as a late teenager. Got very close to the end. I could always get to the final palace, but not get all the crystals of that made sense. Because this game is highly cryptic. And pre-internet, unless you had a magazine, you're pretty screwed, right? But now, I finally beat it as a teenager. Remembered the secrets, thankfully. And one of my favorite games to stream. I know it's a black sheep of the Zelda family because it's very different to the top-down RPG adventure. But it's great. Contra, such a wonderful run-and-gun shooter, even if I'm not good at it. Wonderful weapons you can have. Creative bosses, fast-paced gameplay, good time, not a long time. Final Fantasy. Yeah, I think the first Final Fantasy deserves to be on this. The game that actually saved Squaresoft. And it still holds up pretty well. I mean, you got the pixel remasters now. Definitely go back and visit it. I remember staying up really late doing an all-nighter at work back when I was a manager at McDonald's. And even though it was the mid-2000s, I had my laptop and I would play this at work in between my shift. And it was such a good time. I do have to say, my bad for not including a Dragon Warrior game. Again, that was my lack of experience and knowledge, I guess, on a wider NES scale at the time. As I said, I was a new streamer and content creator. There should definitely be a Dragon Warrior game on this list. I'll let you guys be the judge. Also, I'm kind of kicking myself that I didn't include Star Tropics. That's also a very special game. But at least we got one fully fledged RPG here, and I picked Final Fantasy. I think number 5's a good pick for that. Now we got Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Putting my bias aside because it's one of my favorite NES games of all time, I think number 4's a fair spot. This just oozes personality. It's a wonderful game. And Mega Man 2. Yeah, dude, I mean, if you had to talk about the best of the rest after... Well, I'm not going to tell you what's in the next 2 spots, but I'm pretty sure you can guess. Mega Man 3 is in the upper echelon of God tier games on NES. I think this is an accurate pick, to be honest. Don't have enough things to say about how much of a step up this was from the original Mega Man wonderful game. And Mario 3. Oh, this might piss some people off that I picked Mario 3 over the number 1 pick. But my argument is the number 1 and number 2 picks are in the right spots, but you could just swap them around to be your choosing. I would probably honestly say, if I put my bias aside, Mario 3 is probably the best game on NES. It just revolutionized the Super Mario Brothers genre, right? Added new abilities, a lot more wonder and exploration, puzzles, and it was just such a mammoth experience. Now we got The Legend of Zelda. I mean, all more of the same. Like at the end of the day, this was like published in 1986, and the fact that you had such a big world full of wonder, secrets to discover, and multiple dungeons and items, and like sort of like a free flow way that you could play at least the original quest. Dude, it's such a wonderful adventure game. Look, if Legend of Zelda's not number one, it's number two, and same with Mario, right? Let me know what you think of the list, guys. I know I really screwed it up back in 2017. I would love to do another one of these lists one day and maybe change things around a little bit. But I definitely got some picks right and some picks wrong. But like I said, we all got to start somewhere. Let me know what you think of the list, guys. I appreciate you watching today. Very weird reacting to myself, but I had fun. And I'll see you on the next video. Take care, everybody.